going to be an ultimate outdoor cooking experience. Welcome to this episode. I want to be taking you through this nice creek that flows through this forest. It's very muggy and moldy, but I like the fact that there's lots of places to investigate. It's a quick preview of what's coming up in this episode. We're going to be getting over a log and coming over the tree to get to the creek, as well as a light lunch, breakfast / soup, and we're slowly building out our gear. So stay tuned in this episode. We'll give you a nice few ideas of camping and how to get your setup prepared for having some delicious food. That may look like tea, but it's actually soup. It's a rainy day. As you can tell, it's very rain intensive and it slowly gets worse, but we're going to find a nice secluded spot where we can make advantage of this rain. Always check out nature around you, have a look at the leaves, what type of trees are around you, and it helps you find a nice spot just so that it can be relaxing. And if you've been following the episodes so far, you'll know we've done a number of different camping episodes near the lake, near water, near riverside, but I like the magical small creek. So this is a small water flowing through this forest area. You may call it a brook, a river, a creek. It can be known by many names depending on where you are in the world. But I feel like having this small place is amazing because you can hear the water trickling by, lots of wildlife. You cross over bridges, you see old trees which have been here for years and years, slowly making their way into the wilderness and undisturbed. So it's always amazing to come to places like this. And if you've never been out camping or exploring, then join me today in this episode, because today we are together going to have a look at what's here. What we can do is set up a small tarp to get out of the rain. We'll do a little bit of cooking and just do some investigation around how we can get better for our next camping episode, because we remember, if you're following this series, I'm slowly building up to a point where we can go away somewhere far and adventurous and do a full camp. So a cook, catch, a relaxing episode. We're going to be making the best of this. So what I did notice was, as I was looking for a nice spot, all the good spots seemed to be over the creek. So I had to, it doesn't look as high on the video here, but that was fairly high, and a slip from that would have gone straight into the creek, and everything being wet is not a good start to a camping session. And you can see the floors muddy. We've got a nice creek with lots of pebbles and nice areas for water to collect and filter through, which gives it that nice magical noise and sound of water trickling. It's always amazing to set up in a water location because you've got nature around you, you've got the sounds of water, and ideally if you're in a location where you've got a nice clean water source, it helps a lot, especially if you're planning to set up camp. You'll see I'm using my trusty tarp, which I used in earlier episodes. It's nothing amazing. I have upgraded since this, but I found this worked very well. Just proves you don't need the most expensive or branded equipment out there. And I like the fact that this tarp has done its job. It's working well. It's withstood quite a few harsh rainy conditions. And when it gets really windy, of course, it's not going to hold up, but that would be in most situations for most things. So we're basically setting up the tarp to have a location where we can start making a bit of food and keeping an eye on the water. I always glance over to see if there's any wildlife or any fish in the water as well. So as you know, with this tenting malarkey, you slowly build up your kit. You end up with a folding chair, a folding table, you've got a tarp, you've got all your quick cooking equipment, and soon it expands from all your gear. And you end up having multiple bags you have to carry around with you. So I'm hoping this gives you an idea of that possibility of having lots of different gear. Just felt a little silly for a moment there, and I thought I'll get into the water. Got these new trespass hiking boots, and I wanted to see if they're actually waterproof. Will they withstand me while doing trespassing in water? They were okay, but water did get in. So now I know these trainers boots, hiking boots, are not entirely waterproof, or they need some more treatment to make them even more waterproof. So the nice sound of rain just kind of gives you that relaxing atmosphere. We're still in like a afternoon of the day, and it's about 24 degrees, so it's not very cold. I've got my jacket there, which is a wax coat, so it's proofed by wax, which makes it waterproof. And looking around is a nice selection of trees, and we're just deciding what we want to do today. I've got a little kettle, so I'm thinking of boiling up maybe a tea or a tomato soup, just so we've got something warm in this cozy day to make it a bit more exciting. Instead of using a table, I've thought about bringing a chopping board with me, which I can put on my knees and use as a mini table. And just looking away from camp, you can see some nice scenes of the tree and the water passing through all the foliage and the debris and the flow and the lake and the creek passing through. And I've got my little gas canister, which we'll use for heating up some water. And you can see that the rain's coming through nicely, and it's actually creating a nice atmosphere. There is a little bit of wind, so that makes it take longer for the water to boil. But what I have got here is I've got this wind shield. I'm trying it out to see if it's actually worth having. It's not very heavy. You can makeshift your own ones out of tinfoil and stuff, but I did see it improve the time, so it actually boiled a lot quicker. Having this shield around it. With your tea, what do you normally do? Do you put the milk in first or the milk in second? Because I think there's a way of doing this, and a lot of people have specific ways of doing it. So let me know in the comments how you make your tea. I'm sure I've done it wrong here, but it gave me a nice hot drink, and I enjoyed it, having it while being in this amazing creek location with foresty vibes, as well as that water flowing through nicely. So where possible, take some time out, have a look around, see what's going on. And you'll see during the drinking of my tea, I've also got the additional quick options of, we'll see what we can come up with today. I've got a frying pan from like a kit of cooking, and some butter and bread. We're going to just toast it up and see how well it does. So I'm going to put some butter on the bread and just drop it into the frying pan to get a bit of heat in there. So we've got something crunchy to go with our soup. Heat up some more water for our soup, and that will give us like a nice hot snack with the bread toast. And it's always nice to have something to kind of do while you're camping, so every task is interesting. Here's a soup going into the water which has been boiled, and then that will create a nice creamy tomato soup. A couple of images there of the toast looking epic. And you'll notice now with camping gear, you don't have to have all the fancy stuff. I've got a metal cup here, I've got a kettle, I've got gas, I've got the windshield. I do a couple of extra video clips here just to show you like what is going on. And it's always nice to have this as an option, so you can see how you build out your gear, what's essential, what's not essential. I don't really need to bring this wind guard in future. It just saves a little bit of space, because in future, if we're going to be doing a lot of hiking, getting out to more adventurous locations, I think it's important to slowly think about the weight and what we're carrying, and other better ways of doing what we're doing. So I think it's an evolving mission, and it's always nice to have you here with me to see my progress. You'll see over the past few videos, I've been trying a few different setups just to see what's lightweight, what can I get away with for camping and eating, but make it be as light and as small as possible, so we've got a nice journey getting to our destination, and also while we're here we can have all the essentials, because it's important to keep your calorie intake up, and keeping that gives you that extra boost. So having that little snack gave me a little boost, and I'm slowly thinking about how we are coping in our location. We've got a creek here, so let's just wash our pans out in the creek water just to get rid of the main residue. And we've got somewhere clean to keep all our equipment, and it's nice to have different types of meals in future. So maybe having pre-cooked meals that we only heat up and not cooking from scratch may be an idea. But with these episodes, it's always nice to explore new places. I've got the basics, I think, tuned out now, but the more times you do it, the better you become at it. So if you're thinking about camping, slowly get the essentials. If you don't want to get out there, you know what, you're fine. Just join me on each of my my episodes, and we're doing this adventure together. So we're building up and coming to a point where we're going to be enjoying more sessions. And for this one, we're slowly packing up and seeing how easy is it to pack up, because it's very important as part of your process. You're setting up the camp. How easily can I put it all away and go? See that? Everything comes in a nice bag, and we can slowly leave without leaving any trace, no rubbish behind, so nobody knew we were here. It's very good to do that, as well as stealth camping and making sure that you're not spotted, and having your dog with you. So maybe in the next episode I'll bring Max with me. I'm hoping you're enjoying these episodes. I'm giving you a breakthrough and a real life view of how I do things, and make sure to check out the next video in this series, because we're slowly getting better and better. Thank you for joining me in this episode, and I'll see you on the next episode. I am on Instagram at MotoWhispers, so check me out there.